All right, hello everybody. We are now going to be doing the penny density lab. So you should have the assignment pulled up and you should be looking at the penny density lab handout. You will be completing this data table, so you'll want to make sure that this is copied onto a sheet of paper so that you can fill this in. If you have not copied this down yet, you need to pause the video, copy this down, and then start the video back up because we're going to start filling this in. So what we're going to be doing is comparing the density of pre-1982 pennies and post-1982 pennies. We're also going to be practicing trials and averaging. Ultimately, the goal of this is to create a graph of mass versus volume so that you can compare the density of the pre-82 pennies, the post-82 pennies, and pure copper itself. Your teacher will work through how to do the graphing analysis during your Zoom class time. Right now, we're just going to record the data. So I have my pre-82 pennies. I have trial 1, 2, 3, and 4. Over here, I have the post-82 pennies. Again, trial 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the mass data. So here we go, pre-82 pennies. Trial 1, we're going to come over here to the balance, carefully place those on the balance. I'm not going to read that out for you. You can read that. Make sure you write down all the digits because the last digit is estimated, which is why it's not necessarily staying still. All right, now let's get trial 2. Trial 2, pre-82 pennies, mass. Again, make sure you get the number. The last digit may or may not stay still, and that's okay. All right. Now we're going to get trial 3, pre-82 pennies. And these are in stacks of 10 pennies each as per the directions in the lab handout. All right, go ahead and write down your mass of trial 3, pre-82 pennies. And trial 4 of the pre-82 pennies. And make sure you get your mass down. We want to give it a chance to make sure it's got the measurement down. All right. Now let's go ahead and get our post-82 penny masses. Trial 1 for post-82. There we go for trial 1, post-82. Again, this is a stack of 10 pennies. Go ahead and write that down. All right, trial 2, post-82 pennies. Again, go ahead and write that down for your mass of the post-82 pennies. That last digit may not stay still. Trial 3 of the post-82 pennies. Go ahead and get that written down. And lastly, for the masses, trial 4 of post-82 pennies. Go ahead and get that written down. All right, so that's the end of our mass data. We'll go ahead and turn off our balance because we're done with it. I'm going to unplug it, set it off to the side so that it's not in our way, we don't trip on the cord or anything like that. Now we're going to do the volume data. So to get the volume of the pennies, we have to do water displacement. So for trial number 1 of pre-82 pennies, the volume of the water is at 25 point, what looks like 2, 4, looks like 25.60. So that is our volume of water for trial 1. I'm going to add the 10 pennies. Again, we tip it so that it doesn't break the glass. And now our volume looks like 30.21. It's not quite on that line. So 30.21. By the way, these lines are going up at 0.2 intervals. So we have our volume of just the water for trial 1. Now we have the volume of the water and the pennies. To get the pennies, you subtract. Water plus pennies minus water equals pennies. All right, trial 2, water only. This one's a little bit lower. This one looks like 25.225. We add our pennies, tip the cylinder. And now the volume, this is trial 2 for pre-82 pennies. This looks like 30.00 on the nose to me. If you read it a little bit differently, that's perfectly fine. You can use your measurements. I'm just telling you where I'm reading it. All right, now let's do trial 3. Again, we are still on the pre-82 pennies. Trial 3, just the water, is 25.40. 25.40. I'm going to add the pennies. And now, oh, it's twisted. Let me fix it. That looks like 30.19. It's just below that 30.2 mark. So I'm going to call it 30.19. So that was trial 3. Trial 4. Pre-82 pennies, trial 4, water only, is, looks like 24.1, just above that line, so 24.1. Now I'm going to add the pennies. I got a little bit of splatter there because I didn't tip it quite well enough, so we did lose a little bit of volume. So that's something to make a note of for the error analysis. Now the volume, cylinder's not quite vertical. Now the volume looks like it's just below the 30.2 mark, so I'm going to call it 30.19. Again, if you don't agree, you can use your own judgment, but obviously it's not going to be 45. Okay? So those are all 4 trials of the pre-82 pennies. All right, now let's do the post-82 pennies. Trial 1, volume of water, looks like it is at 20.246, looks like 26.5. These are a slightly different graduated cylinders, so the markings are a little different. So this one looks to be, yeah, we'll call it 26.5. You got to get used to the markings. Make sure that you know how to read your device. These lines go up by 0.1, whereas the other ones went up by 0.2. So now, this one, now that I've put in the pennies, post 82, trial 1, pennies plus water, look like 30.01. It's just above that 30 mark. So 30.01. Remove that. Trial 2, post 82, water, looks like 20.89. I'm sorry, 28.9. 28.9. Yep, 28.9. 0. Let me get my extra digit there. So we're on trial 2, post 82 pennies. We have added the pennies, And the volume looks like 32.10. 32.10. Again, these cylinders are a little bit different than the previous cylinders. All right. Trial 3, we're going to start at 20.2, looks like 21 to me, 20.21. Excuse me, 21.20. Tip the graduated cylinder. And now we are at 26.00. Looks like right on that line for me. All right, last trial, trial number 4 of the post 82 pennies. Graduated cylinder looks like 28.99. It's just under that 29 mark. Add my pennies. And we are now at 32 on the nose, so 32.00. 32.00. Please make a note that every time I'm reading these, I'm coming down. I'm not moving the graduated cylinder. It's staying on the table, and I bring my eye down to read the volume of the liquid. That's your data collection. Your analysis will take place in class, and your teacher will give you more directions on that. You guys have a good day.